Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Amit Ganguly. Um, if I introduce myself, I have total 25 plus years of experience in the IT industry. Most of my career was predominantly on the training delivery, training management, and those kind of areas. Along with that, uh, I have expertise or experience in general administration or general management as well. So, to briefly tell about myself, I started my career in Calcutta 94 and 95, early 95, um, with Computer Point, Kamak Street, and then Informatics Computer Institute in Salt Lake, then Tata Infotech, where Computer Point I had been little over 3.5 years. Tata Infotech again 3.5 years, and informatics was shorter compared to that, about 2 years. Uh, Tata Infotech, I was in the Chorungi office, that is Exide crossing or Exide building to be precise. Um, then in the year 2004, no, 2003. 2003, I moved to Mumbai, joined a company called StreamServe. Been there for very short period of time, 7-8 months. Then picked up by Novel for their Pune office. Been in Pune for a year, and then 2004 October I got transferred from Novel itself to Bangalore, to their Bangalore office. 2005 December I had joined Accenture. I had been with Accenture till this year February. Um, so again, if I talk about the journey or the type of work which I had done during this period, Calcutta period was purely training, technical training delivery and training center management. And then StreamServe and Novel was different. StreamServe, it was kind of a technical support kind of job, and uh, Novel pre-sales consultant, pre-sales and delivery basically. And then in Accenture, when I joined, again I am back, or I was back with the training part, uh, training management, Bangalore training operations, and then gradually with time I had moved to or have assumed different roles, and I was heading the delivery training for Accenture India when I moved out of the training team and joined the product vertical of Accenture products and platforms as that group's operations head. So there, along with training delivery, not training delivery, training management, competency management, and all these things, there are other areas as well. I mean, starting from recruitment, compensation management, finance management, space management, everything. So broadly, we can say it was a role like a COO or chief operating officer kind of thing for that particular group. Not, of course, the entire Accenture organization, for that particular group. Um, this year, February, I thought of uh, moving out from the 9 to 5 job kind of thing. The reason is I found myself is very passionate about training, coaching, mentoring, and those kind of things. So, of course, Accenture was giving me some opportunity, but not completely. So, thought of start utilizing my strength and my experience for people outside the organization, outside the gamut of Accenture. So I started working as a freelancer, both as in terms of leadership development, mentor, coach, and of course trainer also. And along with that, I do one more thing which is might be a little interesting, is which is called genetic brain profiling, where we use through the fingerprint scan we can figure out a lot of information about the characteristic and the potential of the individual. So I'll leave that part aside for now because that's outside the purview of our discussion today. So today's discussion, what I am going to talk about is leadership development or leadership management, especially during the present pandemic time or COVID situation. So, if I start leadership development, if we look at the whole holistically, in that case, what we can tell is uh, leadership itself is a different type of ball game. Because see, when we are working as an individual contributor or as a part, even as a part of the team, as a team member, purely as a team member, at that point of time my responsibility is to get my day to day job done. Along with that, gel with the team, and don't act too funny or too strange so that I don't gel with the team members. But when we talk about managing people, that itself is a completely different ball game. There are a lot of books available, there are a lot of theories available for people management, leadership development, and all these things. But honestly, my personal belief and also from my experience, what I have found, just by reading book, reading theories, somebody cannot be a people manager at all. What is required for that? I need experience. I mean, I might come out or pass out from the most prestigious B school either in India or all over world. uh, but still, if we had been given a role of people manager without any hand holding, without gaining the on the ground experience, will I be able to do justice for that? I doubt. No, I mean, I guess no. Because what it will be missing, I will be knowing all the process theory and concept and all these things, but what will be missing there is experience. Now, why I'm emphasizing on the experience part so much is because uh, experience is experience dealing with the people. Now, in the book you can talk about 100 different scenarios, but there is no guarantee in real life that all the scenarios whatever have been talked in the book or in the multiple books also, we will encounter only those scenarios during the actual work or actually when we are managing people. The reason is every individual is different. We can't uh, generalize people that okay, this is the person, everybody is same, all the characteristics are same and all these things. That doesn't happen, that doesn't work out that way. So in those cases, experience, the real experience, on the ground experience, plays a very very important or critical role. Now, what I would like to highlight here is I'll give a few things which I personally have learned from my experience about people management and how we can blend it during the present COVID scenario. Now, few things what I have learned is as a good manager or as a good leader, if I uh, look at or try to look at myself or portray myself, in that case, the first and foremost thing which I need to possess or I need to demonstrate is ability to connect with people in such a way so that I will be acceptable for my people. Along with that, I or they will be able to respect me, honor me. And as we all know, respect or honor cannot be demanded or cannot be claimed. It has to be earned. So earning the respect, earning the honor is the most important part. One more important thing which I personally have found during my experience, and it has been told in various different 100 different books also, or uh, various different authors, eminent authors, they have also mentioned. When people leave organization, they really don't leave the organization. Most of the time, they leave their manager or supervisor or the leader of the organization. Meaning, I will decide to quit only when I am really, really frustrated about either my immediate manager or the entire management chain. Now, when or why does it happen? What all things might have gone wrong out there? From my experience or observation, what I found is listening, not hearing. Listening, especially specifically active listening, plays a very important role here. Many of times, as an individual, we may have some points, problem, challenges, whatsoever it might be, which I need to discuss with my supervisor or with my manager. Now, imagine a very simple situation. I have I have gone to meet my manager or my supervisor to express certain things, discuss something, and I found that my manager is busy with his laptop or phone when I am speaking. So obviously, my immediate reaction will be, well, must be he is busy with something else, and let me, wait until and unless he finishes this job or she finishes the work, whatever he or she is doing. But the person, my manager, says, no, no, Amit, you go on, I am listening. And still he continues doing that. Will I feel welcome to speak to that person, that individual? Will I have a feeling that he or she is really listening to me? Most likely not. So that is the first thing where the disconnect happens. I got emotionally disconnected with the individual. What reaction or feeling, not reaction, feeling I got is my supervisor, my manager is not interested about me. He doesn't or she doesn't have time to listen to me, right? So that is the biggest problem. Second, assume he is not working with anything else. He pretending to listen, but he is not doing the eye contact. He is either staring at the ceiling or looking at the floor or here and there, left, right, center, wherever it might be. But he is not looking at me. Again, what reaction I will get is this gentleman is not listening to me. Right. There are many other things, not few. There are many other things, many other traits which demonstrates whether I, as a listener, is really listening to the person, to the individual, or I am hearing. So, active listening is one of the very important area. Second important area, which again creates a barrier, disconnect, and people start, hating or at least cannot connect with their manager or with their supervisor, is lack of empathy. Many of times, the job demands that the manager or the supervisor has to drive certain decisions, push some certain things to the throat of their team members. Agreed. Possible, happens, and there is nothing wrong in that. But what is wrong there is the approach, the way we are telling this, the way we are communicating this. So, while doing the communication, if we show empathy and not only show, demonstrate empathy, then as an employee, I will start respecting that individual, my manager or supervisor. A very simple thing. Suppose because of some project deliverable or some urgent work, the team needs to come during the weekend for next 2 or 3 weekend, both the Saturdays and Sundays, and no compensatory off during this period. Might be some client escalation, whatsoever it might be. Now, as a manager, if I communicate this way, quote unquote, like this, guys, there's a client escalation. Next 2 to 3 weeks, we'll have to work all 7 days, no weekend. Every day we'll have to come, we'll have to work hard to get the problem solved or the situation and bring the situation under control and so on and so forth. That's it. What is wrong there? Have I, as a manager, have I not communicated what needs to be done? Yes, I have communicated. What is missing is empathy. That is, I fail to understand, or I refuse to understand, that people coming or working all 7 days for next, say, 21 days or 28 days, something like that, is very difficult, challenging. Everybody has some or other family commitment and personal commitments in life. Now, by giving the order like an army general, what I have done is I have completely washed out that section of the individual. Instead of doing that, if I would have told this way, guys, I have bad news to give. We had a client escalation. It was a serious one. You might be knowing, or as you know, whatever depending on the situation. And unfortunately, because of that, we'll have to work next 3 weeks, all the days. We will not have Saturdays and Sundays off. Unfortunately, during this period, we won't be able to take the comp off also. I know it's a very difficult situation. You all have various different personal commitments during these days, during the weekends. Um, I request you to manage for this short period of time in the interest of the organization, the project, and all of us. And don't worry, I will also be there with you during the weekend, all days, full time. Now, imagine a situation. As a manager, my personal presence is not mandatory there, is not required. Now, if I make a statement like this, and if I walk the talk, that is, if I be there during all the days throughout the time, just to give the moral support to my team, what will they feel? A common human psychology is, everybody knows that my manager's presence is actually not required. But look, he is such a nice person that we are working, we are suffering, we are struggling, and he himself or she herself is also there with me or with us. So the feel good factor will be created. Next important area is proper coaching. Give a proper coaching to the team. Help them to understand their career progression, what they want to do. Talk to them. Understand from them what is your career progression, what is your career objective down the line, maybe short term, 1 year, 2 year, mid term, 5 years, and long term, say 10 years down the line. Where do you want yourself, or what do you see? Where do you see yourself? Kind of. Now, what will happen if I make a discussion like that, understand the requirement, and give the coaching or mentoring to them, identify or help them to guide, draw a roadmap, and guide them uh, to their, I mean, desired destination or desired goal. In that case, again, what I'm going to get is respect. So, with all these things, and there are many other things also. I mean, this is a subject which is very close to my heart, and I can speak for hours on this. So, because of these few simple things, what I am going to gain is respect, and the chances of people leaving me or leaving my team, leaving my organization will be minimized. So my attrition, which we call as attrition will go down. Employee engagement will improve. Few other things. I mean, all these things we can still do it in the pre-COVID days, during COVID, or even post-COVID days. This remain constant. Few things which we ideally should have been doing or would have been doing earlier. I mean, when we were all working from the office. Very simple thing. At least once in a week, go for the lunch with the team. Let's have lunch, everyone together, and make sure during the lunch, no business talk. Purely personal talk, personal chit chat. It can be anything. People can share or talk about anything, be it music, politics, anything. dance, football, or sports, anything. So it creates an open environment. So people start feeling that I am with my family. Very important. See, normally, I mean, most of the metro cities, including Bangalore, when we used to go for work in the office, for most of the people, the commute time to and fro was used to be 2.5 to 3 hours in a day, plus 9 hours working. So we usually spend 12 hours outside our home. What we used to do in at home after coming back or before going to the office, 6 to 7 hours of sleep, um, eating maybe an hour, watching TV and some chit chat with the family members, take bath, this, that, and daily routines and all gone. So the point is about 9 hours we are spending with our colleagues, with our team members. Now, if we can create a family bonding there, give a feel like this is also my extended family, another family kind of. In that case, what happens is people feel good. People feel more engaged. Now, there is a problem now because during the COVID, people are not been able to go to most of the cases. They are not going. People are not going to office, at least in the IT sector. Many of the cases, they are working from home. So the connect with the team member kind of has gone. What we can do? Two, three very simple steps. I will not take much time. One, the first and foremost, whenever we have a team discussion, team call, try to use it video enabled call so that people can see each other. Visualization plays a very, very, very important role. The moment I see somebody, I can immediately make a mental connect with that individual rather only hearing the voice or only showing the names, right? Second, don't have the call or don't have the meeting only to discuss business, because here lunch meeting or going for the lunch together and all these things have gone, right? So during the meeting, set up a time, either beginning or end or in between, depending on the duration of the meeting or the what all things we are going to discuss. Have some 15 minutes time for personal casual talk, where I personally had practiced it earlier before COVID days, because most of my team were distributed team across different part of India, and few of them are not in India also. So what I used to do is every week, once in a week. I mean, we usually have 2 to 3 times the team call, 2 to 3 times in a week. But once in a week, Monday call, I always set a 15 minutes time at the beginning, and from the team member, I ask for the volunteer. That every Monday call, one person needs to volunteer and needs to speak about himself or herself, what all he or she has done in last 2 3 weeks, because that person will get a chance only after a month. So whatever new thing, personal thing, might be someone who paints, they show their painting. Look, I have made this painting. People who maybe have a habit or inclination or talent of writing something, maybe a poem or whatever, they used to show that. People who have habit or talent of reciting a poem, they used to recite. People have habit or talent of singing, they used to sing, like that. So what happens is again that team bonding, team building, the engagement with the people, and of course with the lead, that remains intact. Next point, and the last point for virtual environment, whenever you are setting a meeting, any meeting, be it with the team, be it with other stakeholders, whoever it might be, please ensure that you share the agenda well in advance. Ask people to have a look at the agenda and be prepared or be ready with the questions, so that the during the meeting it should not be a one-way communication.
Let's start my part. Okay. So
Sure.
because we'll not have much time.
Correct.
So just you give me that access of these things.
Oh yes, 1 second. Hmm. Huh. I have made you host.
Right, right. Not an issue. Hello. So this is Tuhin Mukherjee. Basically, I'm from the management means part. Actually, I'm a management professor and also the corporate trainer. So I have been in the corporate training and management education for a long time. Earlier, I started my career with ICICI Bank as in wealth management investment banking division for Odisha. Then actually I moved into the education. I was Singhania University as a professor, then Talent Edge Gurgaon, WLCI India, and various other colleges, including a startup hotel management college also in Calcutta. Apart from that, I was into the corporate training. I did a corporate training for the blue chip organizations like SR Group, Padik Port, Tega Industries, and also the individuals. So this is my forte where I love actually to do the corporate training and training and development basically into the management areas. So this is my short means I have almost 15 years kind of the experience where actually and the corporate as well as in training and development, including both. I am actually carrying over more than 15 years of experience. So training and development, one part I think is the most vital part where the organization needs to understand the significance of the training and development, keeping his vision means percolated to the means percolating down the line, so keeping his objective constant and nurture the development means nurture the talent of the means employees of the organizations. So there is a lots of the things that could be done without doing that proper kind of the coaching training and development. It's impossible to survive the organization in this dynamic world because the world is constantly changing. COVID just came like that. Nobody knew that COVID will come and such a kind of the trouble will happen, but it happened and the world has actually changed ups and downs. So the thing is that it might happen something. There could be numerous kind of the things. Basically the recession comes in an interval of 7 to 8 years or 9 years kind of the things we have seen in the 2000.com bubble, 2008 subprime lending. Now the thing is nobody thought that this kind of virus could unstabilize everyone or everything in the world, but it happened. And who knows that after means in 2030 or 28 something new will not happen or not. That is very much possible. So we are actually staying in the dynamic world, and the dynamicism of the world is like that. We need to change, constantly moving, and we need to adapt the change. Otherwise the so many people means in COVID only so many people actually got destabilized. Basically SMEs, small and medium enterprise, almost the 40% of the SMEs are suffering badly across the world because of the COVID, because the supply chain, total supply chain is destroyed. The products are not going to the customer. Products means there's a less demand in the market. Total finance is stopped across the world. So much problem has happened. Even the government is not able to pay the salary in some areas, in some states, in some countries. So the thing is that we need to understand that we need to actually change our mindset, and that could be done if we develop the proper kind of the training and development program for the organization and for the employees too, and for the individuals as well. So I would like to share some of my slides. My actually today's the session is that living on the quotes, the quotations which we actually use every day. These quotations are not very means different kind of the things. Generally means casually use this kind of the quotations, but these quotations how we actually put into the action, that is the main thing. It's very important that we need to understand the significance of the quotations, and generally or the casually we use every time, but when it comes to putting all this on a practice, I don't think that we actually follow that. So I'd like to share some of my slides, very short kind of the presentation, so let me share with that. So this is a kind of the thing, living among the courts is a very kind of the thing. So basically the living of the course. First we'll come to this, means I'll have the leadership part as well as some part of the HR and the vision. Leadership means we all know that JFK means John F. Kennedy, the famous president of the US. So he said that leadership and the learning are indispensable to each other. This is a very important thing. Whenever the some leaders actually, whenever some industry or the organization grows, it is because of the leaders and the way they actually populate the vision among the employees, that actually helps the organization to grow. Take any organization in the world, means take the means 100 Fortune 500, whatever of the companies in the world, you see the CEOs or the people who is leading the organization, they are the leader and everybody is following and they are proud of that, proud of him. Why? The thing is that learning and leadership, these are the very important thing, the kind of the leadership they are actually putting across on the organization, that is being followed. So there is a tremendous of the learning in the organization. The learning organization can only grow. It is not only a part of the L&D leadership, means learning and development part of the HR function of the organization. The organization has to have a total learning and development culture. Then only the leadership kind of the thing come, and leadership and learning both actually goes hand in hand. So that is what the JFK, John F. Kennedy said. Now another is that thing, that leadership is the capacity to translate vision into reality. That's the main thing. The organization which grows actually beyond the imagination, like the Facebook, we use the Facebook means every day, so it actually grew the beyond the imagination. Or they or take any organization, the thing is that when the organization grows, the leaders, what they do, they actually translate the vision into the reality. If you want your employee to give more than 100%, the salary or the money or the perks or the incentives is not enough. It can produce some result for some time being, that is called the extrinsic factor. They can be motivated, but the thing is that they're not going to stay in the organization for the long time, because it's a kind of the thing that when the extrinsic factor will be removed, they will go, or the somebody will give the higher or the better package or the kind of the thing, they will move to that organization. It's basically the poaching thing kind of happen. But we have seen that lots of the examples in the corporate history, that the people have joined with the very less kind of the salary and they have made a big organization. Why? The leaders actually percolated the vision among the employees, and they feel that this vision can be converted into the reality. So that is that it's very important for our leaders to translate the vision into reality. What there means in small in a small thing, I just want to mention that what is the vision, because what we are today and what we want to be in the future. So that kind of the road path, when it is shown to the employers feels that they will grow. So that's a very important part of the leader, that the vision must be percolated down among the employees, and the employees should feel that they are the part of the growth of the organization. They're the part of the vision of the organization, and the organization, if the organization grows, they will also grow. So it's very important part of the leader that the vision should be converted into reality, and that must be percolated down. Now we all know that JFK means that sorry, we all know that Jack Welch, the Millennium Manager, means what the Jack Welch says that the good business leaders create a vision, articulate the vision, passionately own the vision, and relentlessly drive it to completion. This is very important. The vision, the organization that you are holding, that is very important. That where, if you are creating the organization, see in that if you see the history, means other recent any study, the India has got a many startup. India, there is a means actually the lot many efforts are going on to start a new organization. Means there is a fever of the startup in India, but 80% of the startups are breaking down. 80% of the startups are breaking down. Why? Because when they grow after a means reaching to the inflection point, they don't grow beyond that, because there's a lack of leadership, and the lack of leadership, they are actually breaking down. So that leader needs to actually passionately own the vision, that owning, and that has to go to the employees, that they should also feel the ownership is very important. Unless until they feel the part of the organization, they become the owner of the organization, they'll not give means more than what is required. Because if you're giving the good money, incentives, or any kind of the things which is very external or extrinsic, the thing is that is not going to work for the long time, and the organization will not grow in the beyond the imagination. If you want to create a synergy, means if you want to create a 2+2 kind of the environment in the organization, then you have to have the vision that should be articulated, that you must passionately own, and make sure that it goes to the employee and they also become the owner of the vision. Then only the organization grows. That is we call a winning team. winning team is that it's not only the gelling with the leaders, not only moving with him once in a week, or means not having the good incentives or the performance appraisal report, or the only not having the communication. It's also the part is that they should feel they are the owner of the process, they are the owner of the organization, and they must see their future in the organization. If the organization grows, they will also grow. So that ownership has to come. When the ownership is come, money, I am telling frankly, money is a factor. That time it doesn't work, because I have seen a lot of example in my life, in my career, and also in the business history. The people have joined with just a peanuts kind of the salary, and later on they made such kind of the success story that it is written in the books only. So I must say that this kind of vision has to come, and it has to go, and the leaders must have a job to articulate the vision and passionately own the vision. It's very, very important part. Now, come to the point of the some point of the hiring process. Hiring process, when is there is, I said that there is a kind of the startup fever is going on in India. There is a business, everybody wants to become the entrepreneur. So hiring is very, very important. I'm not talking about the big business or big kind of the corporate setup, but the thing is that when you are starting a kind of the organization, when you are starting a kind of the SME, MSME, or a startup, it's very crucial to actually identify the talent. Because in the big organization or the big corporate setup, there could be thousands of people. It's an average curve. The people, that could be highly intelligent people, there could be average people, there could be also low potential people. But when you are starting a startup, SME or SME, MSME kind of the organization, you cannot afford to have the different or diverse kind of the people, because it's a very important, human asset is the most important asset. So that time hiring is very, very important. Now I would like to actually mention the quote of the Jack Ma: don't hire the most qualified, hire the craziest. Because the thing is that if you need to go beyond your capacity, the craziest people is the means only that they can do. It's not that they don't means they are not qualified, or the things that obviously that should be means they should have required qualification, skill, knowledge, and everything. But the thing is that the mindset has to be different. So the thing is that hire the craziest kind of the people who can be with you if the world also goes in a different direction. So craziest kind of people, and they can only have the power to write the story. Otherwise, it's not possible to start a company, means to in a garage, and make a Fortune 500 company. That has happened. The world has seen this kind of the story. So I must say this is the kind of the thing you have to have. Now the thing is that Barack Obama, what they said, that change will not come because we are the ones who have been waiting for the change. Change will not come your own. You have to have the change. The change, we need to actually bring the change, because this is called the change agent, change management. So this is another part, very important part of the HR, what the change management has to be, means we need to learn the change management. The change will not come automatically, and the change will not come, and the change is, if it is forced by if it is forced from the outside, or if it is like external force, then the thing is it's not going to be there. The very the example, what kind of the example that I can give, that COVID. Nobody thought before 25th March or the 22nd March 2020 that COVID will come in India like that, and everybody will be shut down. Everything will be closed. So that's a kind of a change. What happened? Everyone means forced to shift from physical mode to the virtual mode. So this is a very important that the change has come. But this digitization kind of thing would have come after 10 years. But the thing that Corona forced to change everyone to go to virtual mode. Now everybody is mobile. You will find everybody is mobile. There's a Zoom, Google Meet, or everyone. I mean, this kind of the things to interact with the people across the globe. So this is the forced change. Now another story I am telling. Now that the Corona effect is actually decreasing. Now some kind of the people, they are also moving to the physical mode. So they are not spending means amount of the time earlier like the virtual mode. So the thing is that when this effort, actually this pressure will go away, the people will tend to move. But the thing is that change agent is not like that. You need to understand what is going to happen in the future and be prepared, be proactive, because we are the change agent. We cannot wait someone to force us to be changed. So that's very important. If you are making an organization, you need to have some vision. You need to see that what is going to happen beyond 5 years or beyond 10 years, and prepare yourself for that today. I said that there could be a recession in 2030 or 2028 or 2035. So be prepared for that. If there is a kind of the recession, how will I survive? Because in Corona, so many people lost jobs, so many people even committed suicides. 40% SMEs were closed. So everything has gone away in this Corona. So it should not happen, because Corona is a one kind of the COVID is a kind of virus. Another virus or another thing could come. Another recession could come. So how will you survive in that position? So we need to prepare that beforehand, be proactive if you want to survive in this kind of the dynamic world. So this is a very, very important thought. And another thing is that most important part that Steve Jobs says, it doesn't make sense to hire smart people and tell them what to do. We hire the smart people so that, and hard people so that they can tell us what to do. That's very important. That is very important. I have seen that, means I have seen in my career, in or otherwise the big organization, big corporates, everything is defined. It is called SLA, service level agreement. What you are supposed to do, what you are not supposed to do, it is defined before joining. There's a manual, employee manual, code of conduct that you have to follow. So that is not the way that things can be. Everybody talks about innovation, creativity. That is, we need innovation. We need to be creative. We are lacking of that. But if there is a SLA, service level agreement kind of the thing, and if we say that do this, do that, we cannot get creativity at any point of time. That is why we have seen the big organization never produces something means astonishing. They never creates something means better. Facebook was not created by Microsoft, or the means even that LinkedIn, it was not created by Microsoft, it was acquired. What the big corporates do, they acquire when this small organization actually grows to a means significant amount, then only they grow. But there, that means innovation or creativity doesn't come from a big corporate, because there is everything is defined, service level agreement, everything is being told what you are supposed to do, what you are not supposed to do. So if I'm hiring the best talent, I tell them what to do, then what's the use of hiring them from hiring the best talent? Because I can get anyone and I tell them that do this and do that, and still they can grow. Means they can deliver the job. So if I'm getting a best caliber, if I'm getting a best potential, so that best converting the best potential to best performance is my job, and give them that kind of the flexibility, give them the scope, give them the room to experiment. So that is the main thing. That is how the creativity comes. That is how innovation comes. And that is basically, it's not there in the big organization. It is not that much, because whatever the big organization, they do not generally produce. The small organization, they only actually creates, because there's a room of doing something, there's a room of creating something. So when you are hiring any kind of the thing, any kind of the means as a recruitment policy, when you are hiring any kind of the staff in your organization, just judge their potential, what they are capable of doing, and give them the room to deliver. You see, that employee will be very much satisfied. They'll be a part of the vision that I earlier told, that they'll be a part of the vision. They'll be aligned in the the organization goal, and they will produce more than what generally can be delivered. It will be more than 100%. It will be 2 + 2 is equal to 5. That's a synergetic approach that we say. So that is how the organization, a winning organization, a small organization can be created. And the small organization also can actually negate all kind of the problems like the COVID or any kind of the recession comes. The small organization also can negate all this kind of the things. So this is a very important factor. We need to understand that it is how the leadership quality, how the vision and the hiring, all these things are actually combined together. We cannot separate all this. These are not a separate kind of the thing, and we cannot actually have a different kind of the look into all the matters. It's a holistic approach where we need to throw the light of everything from the top, and need to understand how these things are properly actually, how these things are basically correlated with each other. So whatever the quotes, whatever the suggestions these people are given from the business or the politics or any kind of the religious things, that they have a deep meaning. All these quotes have the deep meaning. We need to think about it. And after that, all these quotes we need to put into the action in our way, so that it makes it produces a better result. So living on the quotes is very, very important for us. Not only think the sending in the message or sending put into the things and making the kind of the promotion for us, but the thing is that how we are putting into the reality, how we're using those things in our practical life, how we are using sorry, how we are using those things to grow our bottom line, right? So that is also very important, because these codes, these principles are also related with the bottom line of the organization. The organization can grow if we means this kind of the policies implement properly and effectively in our organization. Thank you. Now, my short introduction means I have given earlier. I'm MBA, also postgraduate in supply chain, 6 from ISI Bangalore, and certified in analytics. I was with ICICI Bank, Philips, University like Singhania, WLCI, Talent Edge, Harmi Bangalore, and all. Corporate training also, I have done lots of things. So if anyone get in touch, my mobile number is also there, 86174666593. And email ID is mukherjee.tuhin@gmail.com. So hope this kind of the thing that what I've delivered.